And that employee that was bit says he was just trying to stop that robbery and protect his co-workers. A sight I've never seen like before. Unfortunately, a woman's trailer here in Milton, Kentucky actually fell into the Ohio River. And Metro Louisville wants to make sure it is making a conscious effort to hire women and minority-owned businesses to get the job done inside. Watch the scene unfold through a computer, and another man called on behalf of his wife who was hiding inside the building. And this has been quite the week for Louisville Fire Department, given what happened on Tuesday at that plant explosion over on Payne Street in the Clifton neighborhood. And I've upgraded from my purple kitchen gloves to one of these pickers, helping pick up trash. We are joined with the director of Brightside. Lori, you guys have your work cut out for you today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have to do? This is all taking place at the Overbrook Apartments here in Fern Creek. As you can see, the forensic unit is still here on the scene. Norton is less than 20 days away from opening its West Louisville hospital. But before opening the doors officially, it's giving people an inside look of what they've
You had a good day.
What ended in her first grade son home, safe and sound, didn't start as great for mom April Embry.
The second son was ready to come. Never showed up.
Her son Jordan has a learning disability and is required to be on a bus with other special education students. After getting him to school on their own Thursday morning, April worried about drop-off. Wellington Elementary lets out at 4:20. His expected drop-off was 5:25.
I want my son home no later than 6 o'clock.
That didn't happen.
5:25. How you feel?
Mad, upset. I want my son home.
So she called.
Thank you for calling Wellington Elementary.
Reached out to her son's teacher.
Still has not shown up yet.
And continued waiting, checking the bus tracker app.
It is 6:04. I've been texting his teacher and everything. They honestly should make him a car rider. Well, we don't have that position for him to be a car rider.
April doesn't drive and her husband works during her son's school hours. Around 6:15, she got a hold of the bus compound.
I was just told that the bus is at Wellington right now loading kids.
Around 6:20,
My baby should be home by now. He is probably hungry.
she was told the principal will drop him off.
Mom.
That's how her son made it home just before 6:45, almost 2.5 hours after school.
Are you home?
Yep.
The last JCPS student was dropped off just before 7. JCPS says the majority before 6:30, a drastic improvement for the district, who says it will get better.
We're really pleased with that. We've got some work to continue to do, there is no doubt about it. We've got some work to increase efficiencies.
As for April, Jordan's been assigned a new bus and driver, who called April personally, as well as the compound staff, apologizing for the first day miscommunication.
Thank you, y'all, for calling me.
But even with a new bus, she still has some nerves for Friday.
We wait and see.
That has passed.
With a yes vote from every single board member, the JCPS Board of Education passed a brand new safety plan in January 2022. Costing almost $9 million as of December, the plan requires unarmed safety administrators to build relationships and assess threats from inside schools. And armed sworn officers known as school safety officers, or SSOs, each monitor 3 to 7 schools by car.
Yeah, it seems to be working very well.
Board members Chris Kolb, Linda Duncan, and James Craig spoke with WDRB following the plan's first year in action.
Implementation, I think, is going much slower than we anticipated.
The board approved several policies for the plan, including regular reports and updates every time officers responded to an incident. But JCPS hasn't been producing those documents, leaving board members and the public largely in the dark.
Well, we had one kind of mid-year on our safety administrators. We did have one report.
That one report happened in December. It provided updates on hiring, but few details on SSOs responding to incidents or their effectiveness. WDRB asked for copies of all the required reports, incidents, and citations, but JCPS said it does not possess any records responsive to your request.
At this point, no, I haven't seen any, which isn't to say that it necessarily doesn't exist, but I haven't seen any specific data about that plan that we passed last January.
The district also hasn't filled all school safety officer openings. There are 2 officers with 28 vacancies.
And it has been explained to me that because it's been so slow to implement, that the data collection, there isn't just enough data to collect in order to meet those policy requirements.
JCPS declined our request for an interview. The district spokesperson, Carolyn Callahan, said in part, "We are going through some restructuring on the district side when it comes to leadership over the JCPS police and security team."
I will, continue to remind them that we need to see the numbers on that.
Duncan says she's requested a full summary report and expects that to come sometime in June. The only regular reports Duncan and Craig say they have received are when situations arise in schools they represent.
We know about the guns, we know about the fights, we know about the security threats. It is the format that is at issue today, not the quality of the data.
The board also required a community data review team to periodically analyze SSO's activity.
The data review team, the community team, will meet quarterly, and that's in policy, so that they have to meet every 3 months.
But that team was never created.
I'm not going to make excuses for anybody, but the community needs to understand the depths to which this district is about to change. Marty's staff is taxed, to say the least. So if something has slipped through the cracks here, I'm not necessarily shocked because of the amount of change that is happening right now, and change that is necessary.
JCPS is getting ready to install weapon detectors in all middle and high schools. Kolb raises the concern of moving forward on this proposal before fully assessing the effectiveness of its school safety officers and administrators.
I am worried that we're kind of playing whack-a-mole a little bit with all these different potential solutions, as opposed to really focusing on a few things that could be really meaningful.
Duncan and Craig feel differently.
I think we are getting the information that we need, for example, on weapons detection, to make that decision.
The effectiveness for me is the fact that we've confiscated the guns that we have and safely done so. If we can screen out these weapons, that's the purpose to me.
As board members await data on SSOs, Craig believes recent action to raise pay will make those positions more attractive.
If you're coming out of the academy, if you're coming out of school and you're considering a field, a profession in law enforcement, JCPS needs to be the most attractive position. That's from a benefits perspective, but also a quality of life position as well.